Hi, Alan Schimmel, DevOps Enterprise Summit, and we're here with two Marks. Mark Miller of the Nexus community in Sonatype, and Mark Imbriaco, one of the early pioneers of the ChatOps movement, which is such an integral piece of the DevOps sort of story. Mark, welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So we've done some videos earlier today on ChatOps, but our viewers may not have seen those. So why don't we start with kind of baselining? When we talk about ChatOps, what are we talking about?
Yeah, so the idea is if you believe that chat and text chat, things like Slack, HipChat, and so on, are the way that teams are collaborating these days, then the idea is to bring the work into chat as well, so people can collaborate around the work. So at GitHub, where the term ChatOps came from and where I was fortunate to work, for us that meant, in the early days at least, it meant bringing in operational tasks that we would do, like deploying code, like rebalancing file servers, like responding to incidents, all those tasks that we wanted to work on collaboratively, that we wanted awareness from the rest of the team on, we would bring those into chat by building extensions into this bot that we wrote called HuBot.
Excellent. So HuBot was the, actually I've heard people talk about it.
Yeah, so the HU hub bot, right? So the GitHub bot.
Right. Excellent. And since that time, obviously, we have seen all of these different things, but an interesting thing I learned from the folks at HP yesterday who did a ChatOps was that to them, it wasn't whether you were using HipChat or Slack or what have you, that it was almost the technology didn't matter.
Right.
It was the people.
Exactly.
It was the idea of collaboration at that speed,
right,
at that velocity. That was much more important than what the particular tools you were using, which is so DevOps.
Absolutely.
Right? Because culture and people get layered on before the tools do.
Right.
And so you've been involved in ChatOps going back to GitHub some time ago, Mark. Where have you seen the growth, if you will? Where have you seen the evolution?
Yeah, I mean, I think you really just see it. GitHub is an interesting place, right? GitHub is very much a special snowflake where the ops team has a ton of latitude and a ton of resources to build tooling to make GitHub work. Not every company gets to do that. So what's exciting to me is seeing these ideas from ChatOps spread to companies that didn't have this, didn't have the ability to write all that tooling themselves. Seeing open source projects like HuBot take off, other bots. Seeing people share knowledge at conferences, seeing the term get talked about by people that aren't from GitHub, like the HP folks, like Jason Hand at VictorOps. Like I was at Velocity last week, and there was a talk on ChatOps, and I was blown away because I think the only other one that had ever happened at Velocity was me.
Really?
So it was great seeing so many other people talk about it. So just the idea that these ideas are spreading, that people are starting to get the benefit, and you're totally right, collaboration is what it's all about. The chat part's only interesting because that's where the people are.
Yeah. So before we get into what you're doing now, I just wanted to again dive in on the ChatOps piece. You know, Mark and I grew up in the age of email, right? and we communicate via email by second nature. At DevOps.com, I hire a lot of millennials. Gen X's too, but millennials in particular. And what strikes me with these people is they're not native emailers. Like, email is not their preferred method of communication. Chat is. Because there's two pieces of it. It's the synchronous, where it's not just one-to-one, it's one-to-many. And it's the instantaneous of it. We don't have to do a thread where I mail him and he has to read it and then email me and then I have to read it. Where it just goes out. And what's nice about that, right, is it becomes encompassing, rather where in email you tend to get asynchronous and one-to-ones. In ChatOps we get that whole, you know, and again, very DevOps, right? The idea of including the whole team in this.
There's more to that too, though, is because it's not just about people, the way you and I were talking before, is that you can actually integrate your systems into this thing so that your people are talking to each other, and in the same time they can be interacting and the system can respond within the chat environment.
Right.
I think that's huge.
Yeah, it's absolutely powerful.
Yes.
Excellent. Now, Mark, you're you're not at GitHub anymore.
I'm not. I started a new company called Operable earlier this year, and we're focused on helping teams collaborate around resolving incidents, resolving problems in their infrastructure, and learning from what they did. So you can imagine that ChatOps is going to be a big part of what we do.
I would imagine it would be. I would imagine it would be. And just quickly, you've had a chance to be around here a little bit. I know you were busy with some other stuff, but impressions of DevOps Enterprise Summit?
You know what? I'm really excited to be here. I didn't get a chance to attend the earlier couple days, but today has been fantastic. It's exciting for me seeing these ideas that came out of companies like GitHub and Facebook and Google and all of these really forward-thinking, real technology companies move into the rest of the enterprise, move into enterprises that aren't historically thought of as technology forward-thinking companies. The fact that people are seeing these ideas around collaboration and feedback loops and continuous improvement, it's really exciting.
Fantastic. They're all software companies today,
They're all software
right?
companies. They're finally realizing it.
Yep. And Mark, you've been here since before day one. What's your impression?
You know, this morning was a knockout for me. I was very excited to see Rosalind Radcliffe talking about
Yes.
mainframes. And the idea, the thing that stuck with me this morning with her was you can save 90% of your development time if you're doing automated testing. That just purple came out of my ears on that one. And then we had Paula talking about how you get through all the layers of the bureaucracy when you're dealing with DevOps. And then you got Josh and John that finished out. It was an incredible morning.
Yeah, we had all three of those folks were here. Four of those folks, because Josh and John are two people. But they were all in here, and we actually spoke about all of it. And there was even more. I mean, the lady who was just in previously, Cornithia Davis from Pivotal, talking about Cloud Foundry, and she spent her life as a dev, and woke up and found out that PaaS is all about ops. And she went home to her husband and said, "Oh my God, I'm in ops."
No, PaaS is exciting. 'Cause I ran ops at Heroku for a couple of years, so it's really exciting to see. That's another thing that I'm really excited about, seeing companies embrace PaaS, and the Cloud Foundry folks and Cornelia they're definitely leading the way on the enterprise side.
Oh yeah, good stuff going on there. Anyway, guys, we're going to have to call it a wrap right now. But Mark, best of luck with the new company. What's the name again?
It's called Operable.
Operable. And we'll be on the lookout for good stuff coming from Operable. And thank you for joining us. Mark Miller, as always, a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks.
Thanks so
All
much.
right. This is Alan Schimmel of DevOps.com.